Hi, thank you for joining us for the second season of Springdale Today. I'm your host, Mary Jordan. We're starting the school year with a very special back-to-school episode of the show, and we'll be chatting today with Springdale Superintendent Jared Cleveland. Dr. Cleveland, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Mary. Glad to be here.
Why was it important for you to make some time today to come down and chat with us?
Well, you only have one good shot at starting a new school year, don't you? So I think Springdale Today is a great place to be here in order to start it.
Thank you. Well, we're glad for that. Now, when this airs, we'll be a couple days into the school year. Is there anything in particular you'd like to be sure to communicate to families or staff as we're entering into the new year?
Well, I want to tell them thank you for choosing Springdale. There are lots of choices, and Arkansas is a state of choice these days. You can homeschool, you can go to private school, you can choose a school district. But, you know, in Springdale, we try to be all things to all people, which is really hard to do. But in order to do that, it takes a lot of dedication and a lot of investment. And I think our community and our families that are here, they tell us what they're interested in, and we try to make sure that we offer those interests. Our community partnerships, our businesses and industry partners, they really, really help us. They step forward and say, hey, look, we want to employ your students. We want to have these internships that are open. Of course, it helps them too because they have jobs to fill. But at the same time, those deep relationships, those deep partnerships, it makes our community a vital place, a thriving community. Of course, that's not just the older kids. It also provides good, solid foundation for our younger kids. I can tell you that for our parents out there, the kids are going to be safe when they come to school. We have a high-quality CSSO program. I've gone through the CSSO training this summer. Very, very intense training. I've always said I can't lead anything I don't know. And so I wanted to be able to go through the program in order to be able to lead it. And we've got some very competent people. We've got former Army Rangers, state troopers, Springdale PD. I mean, high-quality people that are choosing to be CSSOs. We also have very competent staff of Springdale PD that are our SROs. We have a great relationship with Springdale PD. So as far as the safety goes, your students are going to be safe. For those parents that are out there who have kids who are teachers, they're going to be safe as well. And so we do a myriad of things to make sure that our buildings are safe. And that's just one thing. For the students, there are a lot of options within our schools. You know, at the elementary level, maybe not so much. We're trying to teach students how to read at third grade, and after third grade, they're reading to learn, right? But once you start hitting that fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, then the other options for them are there. You begin the music programming and athletics and arts and all of that, and then you start moving through the personalized work. And you can decide the things that you're interested in, much like you probably have done. I don't know your total background, but I know you've been in the Army, you've been in journalism and all those things, and you found your niche in the world, and you're really doing great in it.
Thank
a lot
you.
of students that we have today, if we can introduce them to something they're interested in early, then maybe they don't bounce around, you know, and we talk about our 3 E's. When you graduate here, you're either going to be enlisted in the military, you're going to be enrolled in college, we think that's a great option still, or you're going to be employed, gainfully employed. So those 3 E's are spectacular. There is no option for being a couch potato. There is no option for not graduating. There is no option for dropping out. Every student in our minds and for our goal is you're going to graduate. You're going to graduate with something. You're going to have diploma plus. And that's our focus. So if you want your child to have diploma plus, you want your child to have diploma plus hours in college, you want your child to have diploma plus certificates, if you want your child to have diploma plus full scholarships of going to the military and having a great life ahead of them, we're going to push that. And we're excited to help. We're excited to be a partner, so choose us, and we'll help walk you through it.
Yeah, I was one of the enlisted E's, and I tell you that joining the military was probably one of the smartest things I ever did, in that I was a military journalist, and it built the foundation for what I'm doing today. And I got 2 college degrees that were paid for as a part of that. So, and it was initiatives such as this that helped get me in that pathway, because I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but that helped me figure it out.
Well, that GI Bill's still around, and that number it just goes up. I think it's up to $180,000+, and that's tremendous. And our students are taking advantage of that. I can tell you, we are working now with the Arkansas Army National Guard to have additional opportunities in Springdale alone, and I think the National Guard and the governor's going to have a really cool announcement here pretty soon that I'm not at liberty to share, but it's going to be really, really good for Springdale soon.
I'm excited. I can't wait to hear. And since we're talking about what's coming up and what we have to look forward to, is there any development or growth that the district is going to be experiencing this year?
Well, I don't even know where to start. What a great question. I can tell you in facilities, we're going to rebuild Westwood. We start that real quickly. We're going to rebuild Jones. Where we're going to rebuild Jones, we're not sure. That's kind of a worrisome question the board's going to have to decide. Do we do it right there where Jones actually is? Do we do it in an alternative location? A lot of things are happening in the downtown area and on Powell Street, but we do know we're going to rebuild Westwood on Westwood. We start an AI task force. Mary, artificial intelligence can be spooky. Some people can either bury their head in the sand and just say, not my problem. But it's here, and it's coming quickly. I mean, when cars can drive themselves, when you get emails, and when you scroll your phone and all of that, and you say to yourself, my phone is listening to me, well, it might be. I'm not sure. But I can tell you, we cannot allow students' learning to be replaced. And so we need to get out ahead of that. We need to make sure that our students are learning, and if artificial intelligence is a tool for them to have their learning enhanced, great. It is not a replacement for their learning. Because if it replaces their learning, then what's happening with the child? The child's not learning. That's not going to be the case in Springdale, right? So while children are learning to use these tools, the adults are going to have to learn to use the tools too. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to differentiate whether AI did the work or the students did the work. And so what we've done is put together an artificial intelligence task force led by Mr. Paul Miller, he's our IT director, and he has master's degrees and works for the military as well in cybersecurity. Who better to lead that work? And he's going to pull together parents, teachers, students are also going to be on the task force, community members, and we're going to work through there. That's going to drive policy, it's going to drive practice, and we're going to make sure that our students' learning isn't supplanted by artificial intelligence. It's new. I'm not aware of it being done anywhere in our state. It could be done in other parts of the nation, but we need to be out in front of it. And again, I've shared this before, I can't lead anything I don't know, and so I'm going to be deeply involved in this as well. I'm dabbling in using artificial intelligence, and it's supposed to help you with time management, but you have to learn it, and that takes time. And so I'm beginning that process right now. I'm 53, turning 54 here in a month. And so if I can learn this, anybody can. And so even you, Mary, right? And so
even me, yeah.
Are you working with any artificial intelligence? Are you involved in using it in your daily life?
To a very small degree. I know that other staff members have been able to kind of offset some of my specialties like writing, where they haven't had to rely on me quite as much to build what they're creating. It's more so now that I can just kind of look at what they've done and bless off on
like
on
editing
the product.
skills,
right?
and
Yeah,
things like
of that nature. So it's streamlined a lot of that. For me personally, I still like to write, so I don't use it as much, but where I do use a lot of AI is when I do interviews. I would take something like this and I would pull it off in an AI program, and it would lay it all out for me, help me find the quotes I wanted to use. It would pull out key points in the conversation, things of that nature, and summarize it. So for reporting, we definitely use that.
See, a lot of times people are afraid of it. They don't even know how it could be used. And so even in this interview, people are learning how we could even use artificial intelligence. Most people think, that AI is robots or something like that. No, artificial intelligence is it's really like a Google search engine. Right now, the way I use artificial intelligence, it scrubs my email, and it helps me know what emails I need to address quickly that's maybe of high importance. Or it helped me the other day. I was looking for a hotel in a location, and I typed in something, I need a hotel and this at this price point or whatever, and it researched multiple hotels that I didn't even know existed and helped me find one at a price point that I could afford in the right location. And I wouldn't have known that. I would have spent hours on Kayak or Priceline or whatever. And so anyway, and there was no advantage. There was no sales pitch. There was no anything. And so there are ways people use artificial intelligence at no cost that I think can enhance your experience and speed. So that's part of it, and it's a tool. But I don't use artificial intelligence to generate my own work. I can't replace my work with artificial intelligence. I listened to a gentleman's podcast the other day. His name's Mike Rowe. You ever heard of Dirty Jobs?
I have, yeah.
Okay. I think he's a pretty interesting fellow. And what he was talking about was that programmers are being laid off by the dozens because artificial intelligence can program computers at a faster rate and at a more efficient rate than humans. And so you have a lot of programmers that are being laid off. He said, but they're not laying off electricians and plumbers and these other folks because artificial intelligence can't replace the pipe or the electrical component. But what can happen with pipes and electrical components and all is that plumbers and electricians and all of us that do like that work can find alternative ways to improve our work. Use the tools of artificial intelligence to improve our work. And so simple things like that. And so it's not to be feared. It's to be used and to be learned. Again, we don't stick our head in the sand. We've got to improve. We can't fear it. It's here. And if we don't try to get out in front, we will definitely be left behind. And our kids need to know it, and they're not going to fear it. And so if we're going to do it right, and we're going to protect them, we're going to protect our community and our parents and our grandparents and all those that are out there, we need to make sure that we find the areas that could be dangerous and identify those, and then teach our students how to use it in the appropriate way.
It sounds like there's a lot of growing with technology. As individuals, we need to be growing along with it.
That's well said. Great summary.
Now, every year, we have a theme that inspires our teachers. Is there anything that we can look forward to as far as the theme for this year and how we're kind of embracing that as a school district?
Well, in my mind, I believe that we have a Springdale education promise, and that promise is made up of 5 major components. And part of those 5 promises there ends in basically the Oscars. It's an Oscar-winning performance, and I won't expose those today because I'm going to develop those and put those out to our back-to-school folks on the 7th, which will be past when this airs. But I think our students deserve a world-class education done in an ethical way, to where every student is provided a personalized education that leads them to a pursuit in a career that is worthy of them. And so we'll get there. And we'll get there to where the community's enhanced, our state's enhanced, and our country's enhanced. And I think that starts here. It begins and ends here. And that Springdale Education Promise is something that I'm dedicated to and our board's dedicated to. And so we'll roll that out. And I believe it'll be a Oscar-winning performance, if you will. I think our theme this year that our CNI team's developed is the Oscars. And so it'll be fun. It'll be a good, fun back-to-school kind of a theme. But for me personally, it's the Springdale Promise. And doesn't mean scholarships for all, like the El Dorado Promise and some other things. It means what have we promised our students in our community? And then how are we going to live up to those promises? And there are 5 principles to that. So there'll be more to come on that.
Well, I look forward to it. You know, I'm one of just 3,000 staff members and we have 22,000 students about. What's it like leading a school district of that size? And is there anything you have to keep in mind?
Well, when you talk about it that way, it sounds like it's too big of a job to do. But I can tell you that knowing the sheer number of people that we have, it's a Herculean task to do, but it takes us all. And quite frankly, when you have really good people at every single level, it makes it a lot easier to do and makes it manageable. But if I had to rely on my own skills and my own talents, then I would fail every single day at every single moment. But having great people like you and others across the district, we're able to do it because of those talents.
Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
You bet. We value our different ethnicities in our district. We have roughly 60 or so, it varies, it goes up or down, home languages spoken in the district. But our three primary languages are English, Spanish, and Marshallese. And so, as you know, we do multiple communication efforts in those three languages. And you primarily do a lot of that work. So it's a Herculean task, I think, to communicate to all of our partners and our community members that are out there. And it's really hard to educate every person, especially when they come to us and they may not speak any English whatsoever. That being said, we have about 30% of the students in the state that are identified as ELL, so English language learners. And so of all the state kids that are English language learners, we have over 30% of them just in Springdale. That's a big deal. And so we work hard at trying to mitigate the difficulties of trying to teach children how to speak English at the same time, how to learn in English. So I think we do a pretty good job at that. We actually test students out of the ELL program at a faster clip than anyone else. So we have a great program. We do a good job at that. And I think our students, being bilingual, have an advantage in their life, having come through Springdale School District and graduate from our school district into the world of work. So as they go through our accelerated professional pathways and they're bilingual, they've got the world by the tail, especially if they have skills, whether it be in if they're going to college or whatever else, or if they're going into the accelerated professional pathways. People want them. They want to employ them.
Yeah, and we want to keep them here in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, absolutely. We have a lot of work.
Too.
We have a lot of work here.
Yeah.
Good, high-paying work.
And is there anything else that you wanted to touch on? We've talked about so much today, everything from AI to what our graduates can look forward to after high school. Is there anything that I haven't thought to mention that you want to be sure to discuss today?
Oh, probably thousands of things. I just think that Springdale is such a robust community. It's a robust school district, and I'm sure that today, beginning school and at the end of the school year, all the things that will happen that we don't know about, we will have had quite a year. And so today I just look forward to that year. I pray that it's a good, solid year and that it's a safe year and that people learn and grow. And at the end of the year, we're pleased with what happens. I hope we're able to do this end of the year wrap up and look back to today and say, yes, the Springdale promise was held and it was kept, and that we're pleased with our work. And because our children deserve it, our community deserves it, and quite frankly, our state needs all of us to uphold our promise, because there are a lot of students today that are not choosing a public school. They're choosing to go to private school or homeschool or other things. And to me, choice is important, but we public schools need to step forward and do right. And in order to do that, they've got to make sure that, or we public schools need to make sure that we do our work well and be a choice that's worthy.
Well, thank you for sharing with us. And we will get that on the calendar to do a wrap up at the end of the season. And thank you for helping us figure out what we're going to talk about later.
Sounds good.
And thank you for joining us for this episode of Springdale Today. I'm your host, Mary Jordan, here with Springdale Public School Superintendent Jared Cleveland. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Springdale Today.
Springdale Today is a production of the Springdale Public Schools Communications Office.
The podcast is hosted by Mary Jordan and is produced and edited by Micah DeLacy.
Be sure to subscribe to Springdale Today for free on your favorite podcast platform.
And don't forget to follow Springdale Today on social media for episode updates
and behind-the-scenes conversations.
Thank you for listening. We hope you will join us in the future as we continue to learn about the amazing stories happening in Springdale today.